The summer shutdown is over and Formula One returns at the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort, the stronghold of Max Verstappen and the Red Bull team, having won the last 4 events there. And of course, we're here to talk about all the upgrades some of the teams will be bringing to the event. And we're going to be beginning with the Mercedes outfit because they have quite a substantial upgrade to bring to the event. And it's one that should bring them that little bit closer to the leading outright pace in Formula One. And what this consists of is, of course, the Belgium Grand Prix upgrade package, which they ran through the first couple of practice sessions, but then abandoned for the weekend. This consisted of a brand new floor, a new diffuser, and other changes which were actually kept on the car, such as the upgrade or the downgrade, depending on how you want to look at it, of the halo. Now, of course, a lot of understanding has been taken place in the Mercedes team thanks to all of the tests that they've run back at the base and what happened after the opening practice sessions in Belgium. And they came to the conclusion that it was the mechanical setup of how they ran their W15s across the opening day which induced the bouncing and the balance issues in the high-speed middle sector of the Belgian racetrack. And if they have gotten on top of this and they're in the right ballpark where it comes to what was the issue behind it, then they should have no problems and it should be smooth sailing for them in the Zandvoort racetrack. And this could bring them a couple of tenths or a tenth at most out of the W15 in terms of pure performance. And if we base that off of what we've seen across the previous 4 races, that could give them the edge over all of their competitors this weekend. Up next, I want to also talk about something that went very much under the radar at the Belgian Grand Prix, and that was Alpine's major upgrade, their first major visual upgrade to their car for this 2024 season. Now, a lot of the hype and intrigue around Alpine was quite understandably around their collaboration with Deadpool and Wolverine, with both Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon having bespoke race suits based purely around both of those characters. And their car, of course, went under a complete livery change for the event, sporting a dedicated Deadpool and Wolverine livery. But there was a hefty upgrade brought to their car, and this upgrade consisted of a new front wing, a new coke and engine cover, as well as changes substantially to the side pod, beam wing, rear wing and mirrors. So a huge upgrade was brought to the car and went very much unnoticed throughout the weekend. And it's going to be interesting to see their performance as a result of that this weekend with this new upgrade package. And Alpine will be bringing a final major upgrade package at the Fly Array events towards the back end of the season, which will be the basis of their 2025 Formula One car. Now, another team which will be bringing not an upgrade but a change in their overall car's look will be the Red Bull team. Now, of course, having moved away from the traditional track of Spa and the use of the shoulder cannon outlets, they will now revert back to the newly introduced upgrade package which was run at the Hungarian Grand Prix and will be used across all of the higher downforce circuits. And that is, of course, the completely revamped RB20 for the event. Now, of course, we've seen it before, we know what it's capable of, and this should be an event where Red Bull are a little bit on the back foot considering where they've been over the last couple of Grand Prix weekends. But with Max Verstappen having been extremely comfortable around this racetrack and having run the last 4 events there, I do expect him to still have a strong weekend and to be contending for race victory come Sunday. And Ferrari will be looking to kick off the second half of the season in much better form with a completely revised floor for the SF24, from which they will be able to utilize all of the additional or rather available lap time that they haven't been able to because of the bouncing incurred by it. Before the end of the first half of the season, they had a makeshift, if you want to call it that, floor upgrade onto their Barcelona specification, which enabled them to run it, but also not to utilize it in the correct manner from which they would be able to extract maximum performance. And this is the area Ferrari will be definitely looking to improve upon with this brand new upgraded floor, which they will introduce at some point in the second half of the season. If they've been able to fast track it, that of course may be this weekend in Zandvoort, but that wasn't the plan before we went into the summer shutdown. So bear that in mind with regards to any potential upgrades that you may or may not expect to see on the Ferrari this weekend. And now we move on to an interesting tweet or interesting Instagram post which was put out by the FIA president, whatever the hell his name is. I don't really care what his name is. And it basically said you can no longer question our questionable decisions that happen at every single Grand Prix weekend with the race stewards. And of course, the major issue comes from the fact that these stewards aren't always the same ones every single Grand Prix event. And that's where these inconsistencies come from. And of course, there's a little bit of favoritism being played out here as well. And essentially what this whole post said was, if you come out and you question us, we're going to give harsh penalties as a result of that. And essentially this sounds like one great big dictatorship at play here, out in full force, which is something I'm sure the drivers as well as all the fans and teams will not be happy with, because the current situation and the level of stewards and the degree at which they have a steady and consistent, if you want to call it, platform or basis from which they go about their decision making is just not there currently. And that, everyone, is that with the upgrades which we know are coming to the Belgium, to the Dutch Grand Prix. Of course, things may change in the week, and if they do, of course, I will then update and create a new video around Friday or Saturday with regards to that. Hope you've all enjoyed the video. If you have, of course, do leave a like on it, comment anything you wish to down below, and if you're new and have enjoyed the content, do subscribe and turn on notifications so you are in the know when I upload new videos on the channel. Alright everyone, I'll see you all later on with another Formula 1 video in the week.